today on 15 on 15.
We have got all of the details on the Rio Palace fire. Plus, Red Week announces the top 25 timeshares in the world. Find out if Aruba made the cut. And Travel Channel discovers Aruba's hidden history.
Thank you for joining us on another edition of 15 on 15 right here on Channel 15 ATV with Daniela Piazzi. Let's get started with our latest local news topics. Over the course of this week, a fire at the Rio Hotel caused a panic in the Palm Beach area. After a technical malfunction in the boiler room, over 800 guests were evacuated from the premises and relocated to neighboring hotels. Thankfully, the fire was quickly under control thanks to the joint efforts by the Aruban authorities and volunteer organizations.
Authorities were notified early Saturday morning when a fire originated in the Rio Palace boiler room, which is also used as the mechanical and electrical room. Hotel welders were adjusting the general AC system when sparks started the fire and caused the entire laundry room to burn down. Hotel employees were quick to take action, though, by immediately notifying authorities, evacuating the building, and turning off the resort's generator. Aruban authorities quickly put out the fire and assisted all remaining guests, including a party stuck in the elevator. Although no one was severely injured, 2 employees and 3 tourists were treated at the Horacio Oduber Hospital for smoke inhalation. Firefighters detected a faint gas scent thereafter and ordered that all guests should be relocated to neighboring resorts. Within an hour of the initial fire, a crisis board was formed by the Aruba Tourism Authority and the Aruba Hotel and Tourism Association to ensure all visitors made their departing flights and all guests were relocated to nearby Palm Beach all-inclusive resorts. Red Cross volunteers were also on site to help with flight transportation, medical assistance, and help with the check-in and check-out process.
At the moment, the Rio Resort will be remaining closed for inspection and damage control until further notice. Moving forward, happy Women's Day. Today, March 8th, we celebrate respect, appreciation, love towards women, as well as praise them for their economic, political, and social achievements. Here in Aruba, much like years in the past, we'll be having a Women's Day conference open to all with remarkable local female leaders of our community as keynote speakers.
International Women's Day is a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating gender equality. International Women's Day has been celebrated since the early 1900s, and it is a collective day of global celebration and a call for gender parity. Many organizations declare an annual International Women's Day theme that supports their specific agenda or cause. Here in Aruba, this is no different. The yearly International Women's Conference is focused on not only empowering the female community, but also to address issues within our society of unequal treatment. Besides being in the 21st century, studies have shown that the Caribbean region still has the machismo element deriving from Latin American culture. The Aruba Women's Day Conference will be taking place on March 8th at the Marriott Stellaris Casino from 7 to 10 p.m. Keynote speakers include Sandra Brown, the head of the Center of Development for Women, and Crystal Andrus, an American author and women's empowerment coach.
Once again, this conference will be open both to men and women of the community who would like to commemorate this special day. Staying on the topic of International Women's Day, today American doctors have broken history, giving infertile women a second chance at motherhood. A clinic in Cleveland performed the first uterus transplant in the United States. If successful, women all over the world could be able to have babies born from wombs that are not their own. Our partners at NBC News were in Cleveland today for more on this groundbreaking experimental transplant.
The nation's first uterus transplant to a 26-year-old Texas woman who was told she'd never bear children.
And from that moment on, I have prayed that God would allow me the opportunity to experience pregnancy.
But now, for the woman identified only as Lindsay, a real chance, following groundbreaking surgery at the Cleveland Clinic. The womb of a deceased donor implanted into Lindsay's pelvis 2 weeks ago. She was born without one. For the next year, she'll take anti-rejection drugs, and then doctors will implant her embryos into the donor organ. Unlike other organs, the uterine transplant is only temporary.
The patient can have 1 to 2 babies by C-section, and then that uterus will be removed.
As many as 50,000 U.S. women of childbearing age could potentially benefit from the procedure. The clinical trial offering new hope and an alternative to adopting or using a surrogate.
What motivates women with uterine factor infertility to pursue other options is that experience of carrying the pregnancy, of feeling the baby grow and develop, and of getting to be there for the baby's birth.
The procedure was pioneered in Sweden. This baby among 5 born there from 9 uterine transplants. Lindsay is the first of 10 American women who will get the transplant. Doctors say there's a long road ahead.
What would make this a picture-perfect ending?
The baby.
Already the mom of 3 adopted boys, she's dreaming of being pregnant, expanding her family. Now, thanks to this procedure, a possibility.
They have provided me with a gift that I will never be able to repay.
We'll be back with more 15 on 15 after a word from one of our sponsors.
When we come back from the break, find out if Aruba's resorts qualify amongst the top timeshares in the world.
Thank you for staying with us right here on Channel 15 ATV. This week, the leading timeshare rental marketplace has released its list of top 25 timeshare rental resorts in the world for their 9th consecutive year. The top 25 ranking is calculated using rental demand statistics from the site's more than 2.2 million subscribers. Find out if Aruba's resort made the cut on this worldwide ranking.
The list is out. Red Week's yearly anticipated list of top timeshares in the world gives recognition to global industry leaders. Marriott Resort typically dominates the list, and this year is no exception. The brand claimed 11 of the 25 total spots. Disney is the second most sought-after brand, with their timeshare resorts claiming 4 spots on the top list, including the top position. When it comes to top locations, though, the most sought-after resorts are in Florida, Hawaii, and in the Caribbean, primarily Aruba. This is why this tropical island took 2nd place in the world for the Marriott Aruba Surf Club, 6th for the Marriott Aruba Ocean Club, 10th place for Costa Linda Resort, and 15th for Playa Linda Resort.
Therefore, 4 of the best 24 timeshares in the world are right here in Aruba. These rankings reflect the preferences of RedWeek.com user bases on individual experience with these resorts. Turning the page tonight, a total solar eclipse will be visible in Indonesia and other parts of Southeast Asia. But just because you are not there does not mean you should miss out on it. Here is how you can witness this spectacle from the comfort of your home.
A total solar eclipse will appear March 9th. The eclipse will then finish on March 8th. It will cross the international dateline and jump back in time. During the eclipse, the moon will pass between the sun and Earth. Its shadow, or path of totality, will stretch 90 miles wide and will travel almost 9,000 miles. Now, unless you live in Southeast Asia or the Western Pacific, you'll most probably miss it. But San Francisco's Exploratorium has got you covered. It is live streaming the eclipse from Micronesia. The next solar eclipse will take place in August of 2017.
Moving forward, this week the Caribbean Startup Conference, ATEC, joined forces with startups, investors, and partners to launch their event for 2016 at the Dutch Consulate in New York. Many can remember their first seminar took place in mid-2015, offering entrepreneurs and startups the chance to contribute to the emerging tech and business scenery of Aruba, and to pitch their ideas for a chance at $20,000. Check it out.
Let's do ATEC on every beach, right, in the Caribbean, because you have to claim that space, and I guess this is a great start.
ATEC team really recreated a startup community and a startup environment, and really thinking about everyone who's watching today, they should truly be inspired. How can we now build upon this, and how do we keep growing this community, because that community started today.
Everyone is sharing this unique experience that they have as a startup and how they became successful. So I really encourage you to join, because together I'm sure we can learn a lot more from each other than just struggling on our own.
So
far for us, the entire conference has been totally awesome. It's been one of the best tech conferences that we've ever been to. It's been like totally fun. It was music. There was lots of booze. But other than that, there was this great Caribbean vibe of just being friendly with each other, and there were awesome speakers.
The energy of the people here is just so rich. The speakers were on point. I can feel, I think everyone's been saying this, but you can feel almost like a bubbling, a collaboration starting to happen.
During this launch in New York City, the founders of this project announced this year's conference will be taking place on the 15th until the 17th of September with international speakers once again that will share their knowledge on startups and technology. For more information, you can visit atechconference.com. We'll be back with more 15 on 15 after a quick commercial break.
Next on 15 on 15, travel journalist Josh Gates and Kinga Phillips go underwater to discover Aruba's hidden treasures.
Thank you for staying tuned to 15 on 15. Aruba is rich with history and culture. From its traditions, people, and monument, the new and the old have always mixed very well here. For some pieces of the island's past, though, you must dive into the blue waters to discover Aruba's hidden history. And that is what exactly Travel Channel journalists Josh Gates and Kinga Phillips did. Check it out.
So I'm headed to the other side of the island to continue my hidden history hunt with TravelChannel.com's Kinga Phillips, who's always up for an adventure. You ready to do some diving?
Absolutely. Let's go. Our boat's over here.
We're heading into the open waters with our expert guide, Ozzy, who's taking us to what many believe is one of the best dive sites in the Caribbean, the Antilla. The Antilla was a German supply ship, and when World War II broke out, she was supposed to be confiscated by the Dutch.
The captain of the German ship didn't want it to hang over his vessel, so he opened all the sea valves around the ship and let the cold salt water rush in, sinking that beautiful 400-foot freighter on the left-hand side facing shore.
Well, at least he was considerate enough to put the boat near the shore for us divers to enjoy. Are you ready to suit up?
Yes.
This is the really unattractive part of scuba diving.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Okay.
It's like a sausage casing, I feel like.
Okay, we ready? Like the Antilla, a sunken World War II supply ship. This wreck sits only 50 feet deep with easy accessibility, and the unique history is all surrounded by thousands of tropical fish. I can see why this shipwreck is one of the top 10 dive sites in the world. Marine life seemingly hovering around an artificial reef. It's otherworldly, and all just a few feet beneath the waves.
That was awesome.
Thank you so much for watching. These were your local news updates and trending Aruba topics. Be sure to like our 15 on 15 Facebook and Instagram page for all of your latest news updates. Also, don't forget to tune back in tomorrow night at 7:15 p.m. for more 15 on 15 right here on Channel 15 ATV. See ya then.